Hello, Brett. How are you doing? And thank you for calling in to our show today.
Hello, good to
Good
see
to see
y'all.
you.
Thank you very much.
How can we help you today?
So in regards to receiving forgiveness from sin, I yeah, I have a struggle with pride in
Uh-huh.
particular, and yes, very prevalent. Um, and I do want to receive forgiveness from this sin, and but I would say I probably most of the time I confess it, I lack a perfect contrition for this
Mm-hmm.
sin.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, in regards to receiving forgiveness from that, am I one absolved without perfect contrition, and also how can I better develop a more perfect contrition before confessing?
Yeah,
Right.
perfect. What do you think, Father Richard?
Well, I love that question because brings up
Mm-hmm.
precisely one of the powerful things of confession. So, like for people that don't have confession, so suppose some Protestant person that don't believe in confession, their only way of being forgiven by God for a sin is to have a perfect contrition. Now,
Mm.
that's very difficult to accomplish, right? So the sacrament of confession changes an imperfect contrition into perfect contrition through the sacrament. So even if you are just afraid of hell, right? You stole a lot of money and now you want to be forgiven, but it's just because you are fearing hell, not because you love God. Well, the
Mhm.
sacrament does still, forgive you. So that's a great show of God's mercy for us in the fact that He makes available the forgiveness, even though our contrition is not perfect. Does make
Mhm.
sense?
Yes.
Now, in that part, when it's like a venial sin, like pride in this case, right? We are not talking about a huge bad thing, but still I think we had to work on. Then I think that with those, it's even more difficult to get to a perfect contrition because they are difficult to fight, right? So I would suggest two things. One thing is, well, first of all, the sacrament always works. So
Okay.
don't stop going to confession because I don't have like perfect contrition right now. No, just do your best. And what is the minimum to make the sacrament worthwhile would be to at least want to make an effort not to fall in it again, right? So a purpose of amendment. So that's the minimum. Now you want to get better in this. I would say something great is to make a retreat, the spiritual exercises that really focuses yourself on what sin is and who God is and how much He loves you. So that's a great way of getting deeper in the contrition. And then the other thing that will add to that is examination of conscience, right? So every night, examine your conscience,
Mhm.
and as part of this examination, you look at the graces of the day, you look at the sins, and then you work on the contrition, on being sorry because you have offended a God that is so good.
Right. So I would just to summarize a little bit. First of all, when you sin, you realize you did wrong, right? And you're aware you did wrong, and you don't want to do what is wrong again. But you don't
Mhm.
feel, oh,
No.
I'm crying, I'm weeping, this is terrible what I did. So it doesn't matter. Because the important thing is not to feel the emotional sorrow. The important thing is to realize I did wrong and I don't want to do it again, right? So that is
Okay.
sorrow for sin, enough, and I resolve to amend. And then you go to confession. But suppose that you perceive that your sorrow for sin is weak, right? So I would like to love God, but I do it more because I'm like, I know I did wrong and this is wrong, and it's not very good, very up there what you would like, that's called attrition. And the sacrament of confession perfects your poor sorrow for sin called attrition and makes it into contrition. And the good thing of the sacrament is that it gives you the assurance, because of the sacrament, it depends on the priest that is giving it to you through the absolution, it gives you the assurance that you were forgiven. As opposed to, as your Father Richard was saying, the Protestant that thinks, okay, God, forgive me, but he doesn't have the assurance. He thinks he is assured, or he tries to assure himself, but he doesn't have any visible, clear indication. Instead, the sacrament of confession is a sacrament that in itself works ex opere operato, that is by the action of the priest and the sacrament. Okay? So hopefully that
Yes.
helps. It's a very good, profound point, and there's much more to say. But thank you for calling us today, and I hope we can see you again with more of these
Yes.
good topics of discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
God bless you, Brett. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.